Okay, let's see what's behind Fender Flare number 1. Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have the Pathfinder back from the repair shop, and you're probably wondering, Nathan, how much did you really spend on getting the rim range seal done? And to be honest, of course, it was not cheap. It was $1,080. Now, I know it seems like crazy for a part that only is about $30, but then again, I'm thankful I didn't have to do it, as it's a very labor-intensive job. And again, as I said before in the last video, no one wants to see me struggle through that. So with that being said, let's move on to what we're going to be doing today with the Pathfinder, and that is the start of the disassembly process. To kick off the disassembly process, I'm going to start with the easy stuff, like taking off the spare tire, which I've never actually removed on this vehicle, and I hope it actually will come off. Kind of just see how it goes. I'm just using this rod that came with the vehicle and this little attachment here. There we go. I think that should now lower the tire. The next thing I'm going to remove on the Pathfinder is actually going to be the running boards. Now, I actually love these running boards. I feel like they suit the vehicle very well, but unfortunately, they're completely rotten away underneath, which pains me to say that they have to go. And, you know, I feel sorry for anyone working underneath my vehicle, especially me, over the last year, because there's been times where I've almost scratched myself on these and I didn't have a tetanus shot. Now, there doesn't appear to be that many bolts holding this in place, but I am going to use some Move It or PB Blaster to basically loosen the bolts, because they are pretty rusty under here. Okay, to take this off, I need a 12mm socket, which I have here. Okay, it's free. This is how bad it is underneath. Again, I would have loved to use these again, but unfortunately, they're going right to scrap. Believe it or not, this is actually the next day, and no, I'm not wearing the exact same shirt. I actually have 2 of these shirts, just so you know. So the next part of the process is going to be cleaning out the bottom of the Pathfinder, now that I've removed the running boards and the spare tire. Before I do anything else to get ready to treat the rust underneath the vehicle, I'm going to give it a good clean, because there is caked in mud and dirt from years and years, I'm sure. Well, this is as good as it's going to get for height, at least trying to get underneath the vehicle to pressure wash it. But now I think it's time to switch into some clothes that are more suitable for the job. Okay, I'm ready to go underneath the vehicle now and give it a good thorough wash without having to worry about getting drenched in water. So I decided to let the Pathfinder dry for a couple days. So now the next thing I'm going to do is actually take off the wiper arms, because especially the one on the driver's side, and I don't know why, but a lot of R50 Pathfinders, I've noticed this, especially ones I've seen for sale, is that the driver's side wiper arm is always losing a bit of paint, especially near the joint here on the wiper arm. I don't know why that is, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to take them all off, and I'm going to give them a nice new set of paint. Looks like we got some rust under here. Would you look at that? Okay, so this side, there's no rust really, it's just that one. I don't know why it's so heavily corroded, but this one here is perfectly fine. Okay, I applied a bit of penetrant to both the wiper arms in the front here. And by the way, if you are wondering what size socket this is, it's a 14 millimeter. Okay, well, that one does not want to budge, but that's probably typical, considering it's probably never been removed from the vehicle. Okay, it's broken free, thank God. Just needed a little bit more persuasion. And a breaker bar, of course. So I actually have removed this wiper arm before when I was doing some work on the vehicle last year, so it should come off rather easily. I'm trying to be gentle with these plastic pieces though, I don't want to break them, they're impossible to find. Okay, the nut on the back here is actually a 12 millimeter in case you actually care. It came off actually almost too easily. Maybe I didn't tighten it down enough when I put it back on. Okay, and hopefully it will just come off. There we go. Before I jack up the vehicle, I'm actually going to break loose all the wheel nuts. And if you have this Pathfinder, or at least this generation, and you have these wheels, you probably know the pain of having to take these caps off sometimes. Some of them come off more easily than others. You can just use your hands like this, or sometimes you have to use a flathead screwdriver. Okay, now that I've lifted the vehicle up, I can actually get a better view of what's actually going on here. For other parts I see that have kind of rusted out a little bit. But overall, it's not in bad shape compared to other Pathfinders I've seen around this age. This one's actually in pretty decent shape. So anyways, let's continue onwards. And now I'm going to actually remove the muffler and part of the exhaust system just so I can get easier access to the rest of the vehicle. Now that the muffler and the rest of the exhaust from the resonator's back is off the vehicle, the next thing to take off the vehicle is actually the fender flares. So this is actually one thing that I'm really worried about because I think there's going to be quite a bit of rust underneath. So let's see how it goes. So this was all the dirt stuck in one of the fender flares here. And believe it or not, there was actually more of it. But look at all this stuff right here. Just years, probably since the car first came out. It's vintage dirt if you want it. And this right here is why you should clean out your door jambs, so you don't get junk built up like this. If anyone needs dirt, hit me up. That's some good quality soil right here. All right, let's see if we can take this off without breaking it. Okay, it's another one down. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just taking off the brush guard off the car because I have to take off the front bumper as well, just like I did in the rear. So I'm using this makeshift way of holding up the brush guard while I take it off in hopes that it won't fall on me or damage the car. Okay, the bolts have been taken off. And there we go. Got it off without damaging the vehicle. This car is looking more like the day I bought it, you know, without the brush guard on, and besides having the original bumper that came with it, which had all the clear coat peel, it's a big surprise. It's looking pretty good. So let's take off the bumper now. Well, I'm going to end today's video here. I just want to say thank you very much for watching the dismantling process of the Pathfinder. It was actually quite a bit of fun getting to dismantle this thing and seeing it all in a bunch of small pieces. In the next episode, I'm actually going to try my first ever attempt at soda blasting. That's right, using baking soda to remove the surface rust underneath the vehicle, and I'm looking forward to that very much. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, now's a good time to do so that way you don't miss any future episodes of the Pathfinder and car reviews on my channel. And until next time, take care. Bye now.